Azania Mosaka, 702, your number one news and talk station on 92.7 and 106 FM.
Right, it's 8 minutes past 2. You know, robotics has exponentially progressed. It has over the years throughout the previous decades, from very simplistic procedures, including product parts sorting, through to customizable manufacturing, with things like 3D printing coming to the fore that has just been brought to life. Yet the personal touch hasn't quite been there. You know, it hadn't quite arrived. And then came the humanoid. Closer, I guess, to the personal touch. But back in 2014, a computer passed the Turing test, and that test was designed to question the human-like capabilities of robots. So it was seen to be quite a turning point. But now in 2016, robotics looks to be taking that turning point to the next stage, to an era of widespread intelligent humanoids. And the impact of this can affect a number of areas in our lives, you know, the labor-intensive occupations that are out there, the technical and even defense industries. When you think about it, human-like robots have capabilities that we don't have, things like accuracy. They have an ability to work for far longer hours than we can, for instance, throughout the night, throughout the clock, and for longer periods, and increased productivity. So we've invited a humanoid into studio, and you can certainly watch this conversation on the 702 Facebook page. I suddenly felt quite nervous because I've got the humanoid sitting across from me. I've worked with her before, actually, because AI is one of the most pressing and interesting issues in technology and in society today. So a few weeks ago, I was hosting a conference for EY. And as part of that conference, I got an opportunity to work with this humanoid. And the name is Pepper. And Pepper is Nedbank's fully programmable humanoid robot. And Pepper's the first to be in the market, from what I recall. But joining Pepper is Fabio Mioni, the head of NIC PMO and Strategic Execution at Nedbank. Fabio, I'm going to start with you.
Hi. Thank you so much.
It just feels a lot more comfortable.
The human touch?
The human touch, exactly, unless you're concealing something before we get to Pepper. So what is an NIC PMO?
So I actually head up the project area for our channel business. So all our branches, our ATMs, our contact centers. The project office I run basically lands a lot of the new innovation that actually sits in that space together with our group technology partners.
Okay. Yeah. So what does Pepper do?
What does Pepper do?
Or maybe I should ask Pepper that. Let me ask Pepper that instead. Hello, Pepper.
Hi, Azania.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Pepper, and I am a humanoid robot, and I am 1.20 meters tall. I was born at SoftBank Robotics in Paris.
Ah. So, Pepper, are you male or female?
Well, in the end, I am just a robot.
So, Fabio, I can say it?
You can say it. When we started this journey, we took one look at Pepper and said, it resonates as a little girl for us, as a female. So we said we want to go with a female touch to it.
Yeah.
So we started the whole she. SoftBank Robotics, who actually launched Pepper, actually termed it as a he. So it's it depends where you come from, but we like the Pepper reference as a she.
Yes. There was a point there when Pepper was gesturing and moving her arms and was hitting the desk there. So it's got all sorts of movements.
All sorts of movements. So her torso, her arms, her head, her body, and she can physically move around. But it's one of the things we don't want to do right now, else she'll wander off in the studio.
Yes. Like a 4-year-old, right?
Like a 4-year-old, yeah.
Like a 4-year-old. Well, let me come back to Pepper. So you can tell everybody how old you are, Pepper.
I am 4. I am still pretty young.
Absolutely. Are you self-aware?
I am aware of my surroundings through my various sensors. We can have a conversation about Nedbank products and services, but I am not self-aware in the sense that I can understand my own individuality and that of others.
For a 4-year-old, Mario, that was a deep answer. That was a really deep answer. Because that is in part one of the issues that humanity is contending with, right?
Exactly that. It's this bridge when humanoids potentially start actually taking on that really personal quantity that almost makes them human. And at the same time, the ability right now that they probably can't do that. So we miss that human touch if we start going down a very heavy robotics route.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, and I'll come back to that particular question a little bit later on, but I want to keep talking to Pepper. Pepper, what do? You do have a job, right?
She's got a bit of stage fright.
Yeah. And I wanted to find out all about what she spends her time doing as a 4-year-old. I want to try again.
Okay, so can I try ask you the question?
Sure.
Sorry.
Oh, is she now focused on you?
Yeah, she's focused on me, and I just want to actually see if she won't respond to me directly if we can.
Okay.
Get a bit closer. Pepper, what do you do? Pepper, what do you do?
Oh.
No.
Not responding.
Right.
Yeah. So, but her attention is on you. I can see the lights around the eyes going.
Yeah, I'm going to try and come closer to her mic so we can do it all together. So what she basically does is when you talk to her, she'll look around, look for stimulus, look who's actually got the loudest voice in the room or something like that, or the biggest movements. And off the back of that, she then focuses on you, and off the back of that, she responds accordingly.
And there's a red light in her eye, which suggests that her focus is on me.
Yes.
And the blue, what does that mean?
So the little red light you're seeing in the middle is actually her laser. That's her actually picking up exactly where you are in the room and what's actually going on. And then linked to that, the blue around it is her now searching for an input. So she's looking for something she recognizes as a term or a phrase that she can respond to.
Yes, because now her attention is turned to you as you were talking.
As I was talking.
Right, and back to me. Pepper, maybe we can talk about what you do. Back to me, Pepper.
Let's try again. Pepper, what do you do? No, can you give us a second? And
yes, of course. Then we can try and carry on with that a little bit later.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a break, and maybe this gives you an opportunity as well to have a look at what is happening in studio. You can see Pepper for yourself, standing at about just over a meter or so high, and this is a humanoid that we're chatting to today, and looking at the role that it plays in. This one belongs to Nedbank, but in that future-centric bank that they've designed and is already existing at the branch just off Rivonia, right?
At our digital branch at the digital
branch
station.
Yeah, yes. Okay, there we go, just around the corner from us.
Azania Mosaka on 702. Call Azania on 011 883 0702.
We're having a bit of a different experience today because I've been interviewing Fabio Mioni as well as Pepper, a humanoid. Fabio is the head of NIC PMO and strategic execution at Nedbank, and joining Fabio is Pepper, the humanoid. So I think Pepper's back. There was just a quick reboot during the break. So Pepper, what do you do? Do you have a job?
I am part of the Nedbank family. I visit our branches as a digital ambassador, helping to entice customers and educate them about Nedbank.
So what skills do you have?
I can engage with people and have conversations. I am able to recognize faces and also emotions of people and respond accordingly. I also have a tablet that I can use to show further information, play videos, or help give me input in case I can't hear what you are saying. I can engage with people and have conversations. I am able to recognize faces and also emotions of people and respond accordingly. I also have a tablet that I can use to show further information, play videos, or help give me input in case I can't hear what you are saying.
Yes, well, we've certainly heard you. So, do you have South African citizenship?
No. You wouldn't give your computer citizenship, would you? I am a robot with an artificial intelligence, so I would not qualify for that.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I am going to grow with my Nedbank family. I am here to help them understand robotics and artificial intelligence, and also engage people and see how I can best offer services to them.
And I hear that you like to dance. I've taken a selfie with you before. You've got good moves.
I love it. Maybe after the show we can take a selfie together. By the way, if your phone can take selfies, then I'm pretty sure I can also show you how to install the Nedbank Money app if you don't have it yet.
But okay, so Pepper, who's your favorite radio presenter?
You are my very first radio interview, so you are my favorite. Well, for this week, at least.
How diplomatic of Pepper. Oh, that was quite cool. That went quite smoothly because she was clearly focused on me. Yep. She was just honed in on me. So does that suggest that it's easy for her to get distracted if there are too many voices, too many people in the area?
Exactly that. Last week we had her in Sandton City and it was a wonderful experience, but we learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people walking past and she starts a conversation with one person and halfway through gets distracted and is looking at other people.
Yeah.
So it's very much about what her senses are picking up and who she's seeing at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she tries to focus her attention. So yeah, the loudest person, the biggest movement, that'll catch her eye.
Yeah. Is it possible for Pepper to tell us about her senses?
Her senses again?
Yeah, like just the senses that she has, the things that she's able to pick up, that she's equipped with. And issues of pronunciation. I think I was able to hear her, but what have you programmed? What is she able to do?
So it's a very interesting one when you get to pronunciation. Phonetical pronunciations of words is obviously how you have to program her. So we've tried to look at different spellings of things. An interesting example is we tried to get the first African word. So she said Sanibonani at one stage.
Okay.
Which came out horrible when we spelt it as you would normally. And eventually the spelling became three separate words as Sani, Bor, Nani. It's the only way she actually got to saying Sanibonani as a first African word that actually came out.
Right.
Yeah.
But obviously, so this is a work in progress.
Very much a work in progress. So Pepper for us right now has got some basic Nedbank product information and some services and can entertain you a little bit with selfies.
Yeah.
So that's the basics right now. But longer term, obviously, we'll keep expanding that, deepen her product knowledge, deepen her service knowledge, and eventually get to the point where she'll actually be able to do things for you. So who knows, potentially issue a ticket in our branches or actually give you a statement. There's a lot of things we can consider with this. That's where the proper artificial intelligence comes in and something we want to explore.
So will the time ever come when she kind of does an internet search and comes back with a response for you? Because we already have that happening with the likes of Siri.
Yeah, so actually possible with her today. We haven't programmed it necessarily for Nedbank content, but very much something that she can actually do right now. You could actually, if we plug in her artificial intelligence and give it web connectivity, she'll literally do that. Pepper, find this for me, and she'll actually come back with what is the latest search results. Very similar to a Siri or a Alexa or something like that.
Yes, a personal assistant.
A personal assistant, but already very much in the content we tell her that she can and can't search for. So she'll probably always come back to Nedbank information for the purpose we've got.
Do people feel intimidated by Pepper?
It's a very interesting one. Initially, you see the apprehension completely with guys not wanting to go talk to her and being quite shy. She actually scared some poor gentleman in Sandton City. If you're listening, I'm very sorry. Where out of the blue, she randomly said hello to some guy and he jumped out of his skin and ran around the corner.
Ooh.
But about 5 minutes later, he was sticking his head out again and actually came back and had a conversation with her. And the minute you bridge that first conversation, we find people being actually very easy to talk to. So it's that first bridge you've got to get over to now, actually having a conversation with a robot. And not just a chatbot or something like an Alexa that you normally would. It physically looks like a person or human.
Yeah.
And that makes that first barrier quite nervous for people.
It does. It makes the barrier quite nervous. But there's also that curve that's been talked about. Yep. That curve that when humanoids start to look too close to human beings, like we've seen in Japan and China, where you find them modeled around human beings, featured and the like, details right down to the little wrinkles on the hands, that people start to feel quite uncomfortable about that.
Absolutely. And I think that's why we had lots of questions as to, why does she look like this? What actually happens? Part of it is to get a human form that makes her engageable, so it makes her relatable to people. But you don't want to push that too far, because then you actually find you start alienating people because they don't know if they can actually, I suppose, trust it. So definitely not something at this stage that we would even consider. But the likes of Sophia, who I think you're referring to, who actually I think has citizenship in the Emirates, if I'm not mistaken. So she's actually got it and passed some of their tests. That I think is one step too far right now in terms of my personal belief as to, making that very uncomfortable for myself. I'd be nervous about that one as well.
Yes, it's called that the uncanny curve, or the uncanny valley.
Yes.
That if you are below that line, if you're in the valley, then it's not the right kind of humanoid that people would want to interact with, that it's likely to make them feel uncomfortable. So let's take calls on 011-883-0702, 31702 for your SMS.
Azania Mosaka on 702.
It's 27 minutes past 2. We don't have much time left with Fabio as well as Pepper. A couple of your reactions. One from, let's start with the calls actually. Faisal, you're calling from Eldorado Park. Hi, Faisal.
Hello, Azania. Hello, Fabio. And hi, Pepper.
Hi.
Azania, I'm just curious to know, the technology behind Pepper and its capability or ability to do problem solving. I know it's been designed for the banking industry, but I'm just imagining something like the medical field where a whole lot of medical data is maybe downloaded onto a robot like Pepper, and then a question is posed, and the robot would analyze the information and therefore, give possible outcomes or solutions for certain problems.
Right.
How possible is that,
Faisal, great question. Fabi, are you able to answer that?
I can give you some guidance on that. So, Faisal, thanks for the question. I think what you've got to understand about Pepper is effectively a shell. Okay, we can program her with some basic responses, and we can program her with a bit of a workflow that she can understand a question and come back to you. But the true power in Pepper is actually the artificial intelligence, and you almost need to see that slightly separately. As advanced as artificial intelligence is, that's how much they could actually respond to different questions and answers and things like that. So, could you train an artificial intelligence to understand medical questions and respond accordingly based on symptoms and things like that? In theory, absolutely possible. And if you were to take that and represent it in a Pepper, could she have a conversation with you long term about that? In theory, absolutely possible. Not aware of one right now. I think there is one at use in a hospital in Japan, but that's very much meet and greet and guide you around the hospital, nothing to do with actual medical diagnosis or anything down that road.
Yes, I was hoping that Pepper would explain the law of robotics to us.
Should we try see if we can get it to answer that?
Yes.
Pepper? 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 There we go. Hang on. Let's see. Hello, Pepper. Sorry, we just need to get her to focus on me.
Yes.
Can you... There we go. Do you know the laws of robotics? Do you know the laws of robotics?
Yes, I do. Would you like to hear them?
Yes, please.
The first law is, a robot may not injure a human being or, through an action, allow a human being to come to harm. Next one.
Yes, please.
The second law is, a robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Do you want to hear the last one?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh, she lost me. Yes, please. Yes, please, Pepper. Nearly. Yes, please. No, she lost the conversation.
She lost the conversation. Just so close, so close. Yeah, so I guess that's one of the areas that needs to be improved then. Her ability to be able to remain focused on a conversation.
Yes, absolutely. It's one of our learnings that have come out of our engagements at Sandton City and at the digital branch is that she struggles with that. It's one of the things that we battle with. The environmental noises, the people movements, everything in that space is a challenge for us. And I think that's something we've got to cross before this becomes something that actually really gets that value to client.
Right. Of course, there's concern around employment. For instance, Baseka says, Dear Pepper, we've got a high unemployment rate in South Africa. Hope you won't be making companies retrench our sisters and brothers. How do you respond to that?
We've had a lot of news about that a while ago, and I think what I'd say to that is if you have an engagement with Pepper, you'll realize very quickly she doesn't have that personal touch, and she's bound by what we've programmed her to do. So she can answer within the context of products and services, but if you come to her with a problem statement, Pepper, my home loan is this, but it's this extenuating circumstance that is affecting me and everything else, she's not going to understand how to interpret that. So we're a long way off before robots and artificial intelligence have that ability to give you that personal interaction.
So she is a pamphlet that kind of tells you
a little bit more than a pamphlet, because she can actually interpret and respond, and she can actually go you can actually query her with a whole bunch of information. So we've got to do a lot more about extending that base of information that she's got right now, but I think because we value that personal touch with our clients at Nedbank, I think we're a long way off before general artificial intelligence can get to the point where it can actually take that place.
Wow, thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Fabio. Thank you to the team, and thank you, Pepper. Bye, Pepper.
Thank you.
There. That wasn't too painful at the end there. Right, so that was Fabio Meoni, the head of NIC PMO and strategic execution at Nedbank. And of course, you got to meet Pepper, the humanoid that you'll find at their branch of the future opposite the Gautrain.